Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gillian Berry, and today we have an absolute legend in the house. We have Dr. Aris Latham, and he has been raw vegan for over 47 years. We're going to talk to him all about this. I have many amazing questions from you guys, my viewers, as well, which we will answer at the end. And also, Dr. Aris, which is so interesting, has not drank water, typical water, regular water, in 44 years. And another thing I find interesting is he doesn't supplement at all. So we're going to talk about all these things and many other amazing things as well. So let's get right into it. Give this video a big thumbs up right now. Make sure you subscribe if you don't already. And let's say hello to Dr. Aris. Hello. And I want to say happy birthday. You recently turned 75.
Well, I'm getting there the 24th of July. I'm warming up.
Oh,
I'm
okay. Well,
getting in the queue.
so happy early birthday. Well, thank you so much for being on with us. I really admire you. I think you're absolutely amazing. You're a true icon. And I want to start out with, I would love to hear what led you to being raw vegan. I know you don't like the term raw vegan, but what led you to the living foods lifestyle?
Okay, well, living food life. It's not even a style with me. I've been doing it so long. It's me. It's my life. And what led me to it? Basically, the revolution. I'm a child of the '60s. So the convergence of the hippie movement. The Black Power movement, the Vietnam War movement. All of this conversion in the late '60s is what really, basically snap the button, and it was being here and also being in a position where I figured out that I had to defend my life. And defending my life meant, what's on your plate, man? What's that? What did you just eat? Why are you sneezing? Why are you coughing? Why are you passing gas? So these types of things as a young college student, a sophomore in college, 1968, I'm like on the front line of the revolution, with all the revolutions that were taking place around the world, the political movements and stuff like that, and again, the big Vietnam War movement and the hippie movement, the land, back to the land. And of course, again, the Black Power movement. It's like, wow, what are you eating? What's on your plate? So it wasn't hip to be eating foods that were pretty much counter-revolutionary. And those foods, we sum it up in a couple of words, basically the SAD diet, standard American diet. Because myself, once I moved to the US at the age of 17, leaving Panama, I was born here in Panama in the rainforest, in a called Gatun, in the former US Panama Canal zone. And in that area here, we're talking basically a work site, in the bush. My grandparents came from Jamaica and Barbados during the building of the Panama Canal. And, up in setting the traditional West Indian, African Caribbean dietary system and being in the US territory and getting some remnants of, what was on the American, but also getting the Latin, in the Republic of Panama. Basically, they still don't even have a cuisine here. It's fried it, anything they can fry. So it was fried flour, fried dumpling, fried pork rinds, everything. And they're still doing it. They just find some other stuff to fry that are a little more gourmet, than pork rinds. But anyway, so these are the kind of stuff that moved me, Because once I landed in the US, we're talking 1964, inner city America, Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, in the heart of the thick of, the ghetto, and going to Bushwick High School, a little bit on the fringe of the ghetto. There I was, gymnastics, swimming, track and field. I was a star athlete, at that point in my life in high school, coming fresh out of the bush, a kid who used to swim in the ocean. That was our swimming pool. So here I am in a swimming pool, a kid who used to jump off, cliffs, talking, skydiving into a waterfall, this kind of stuff. Here I am now on the diving board doing, all kinds of, gymnastics, in the air. So I was also a gymnastic student and also track and field. I was a cross country runner because, that's it. We just used to run the bush here. So, but after a couple of years of having been introduced to Sloppy Joe, and some of these other culinary gangsters, literally, because this food that I met up with in the US, they were weapons. The thing was like, I ended up with a heart murmur, TB, asthmatic. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm on the college campus, so now I'm, seeking some knowledge, seeking some information, and I'm up with these folks. I'm back to the land, natural eating, organic, and don't eat pork. Hell no, we won't go. We're not going to Vietnam to fight somebody's white rice war. People over here, we're eating slave food still. So my battle was right in my neighborhood, in my community. And that's how I got started, being a little, wise little college kid and looking to be intelligent. And ended up going to health food stores trying to find the ingredients for my trail mix. Because that was the hip thing back then. If you wasn't under your trail mix, running around campus with a little bag with your sunflower seeds and raisins and stuff like that, you weren't hip. So I wanted to be hip. I'm with my trail mix and go to the health food store to buy my ingredients. I ran into books. So I've amassed a library of over 15,000 books. I pretty much ate every book that I could find on vegetarianism, raw foodism, food, digestive system, the whole thing. So my library, 15,000 books, we're talking all fact books. No jokes, no comedy, no soap opera, no fiction, facts. So
yeah,
I'm all self-taught, the bottom line. And that's how I got into it, defending my life, not trying to protect, the bald eagle or the zebra, because I realized back then, at the age of 23, that as human beings, we're probably one of the most endangered species of animals on the planet. So if I take care of this little black bald head that I live in and make sure that, I protect it and defend it and feed it right, the chickens don't have to worry about me. They know I'm not going to try to eat them, and I'm not going to try to turn them into pets or food and that kind of stuff. So it was a revolutionary act for me to step up to this level and defend my life based on my plate.
incredible. And where do you think you'd be right now had you not taken this path?
Probably dead.
Yeah. And I want to, yeah.
Yeah, because my contemporaries, one of my brother who was 8 years younger than me, he passed away like 10 years ago, massive heart attack. One that was 1 year older than me, like 9 years ago, the guy passed away of two forms of cancer. My eldest brother just passed away, a year ago now, broke and been living, basically living dead. On death row, they call it, hospice care or whatever, but, that's not the way to live for me. So making this change and being now approaching, my 75th year of rotating on this planet here, I'm not sick. 20/20 vision, no borderline Alzheimer's. As a matter of fact, my brain is expanding. It's not shrinking. Okay, and my nerves are steadier than ever. B12 deficient, hands down. Proud to be B12 deficient and don't show any of the symptoms associated with B12 deficiency. So no supplement. I don't touch B12 supplements, any types of things. And I'm not sick. So I figured out human beings don't have to be sick. So pretty soon, I'm going to be running a recipe for you. So my cameraman is here. we're going to be doing a serious recipe because we're going to be on Sunfire TV. Because those who may catch it today, we want you to be able to come to our website, subscribe to Fire TV, because this is our recipe bank. And this recipe, I'm developing it right here for our audience with us right here today on this program. So I remember back then in the 60s, there was a very famous song by Gil Scott-Heron that said the revolution would not be televised. Guess what? We're televising it right now. The revolution
I love it.
is televised, and the revolution continues. We're talking the food revolution, and I have seen the manifestation of it over the past 53 years. How right now the world is coming to us. Everybody wanted into this healthy food lifestyle. And here, life has been a style for me. So welcome home. Welcome to the Sunfire Culinary Institute, and welcome home to self, because that's what we're looking to discover, who we really are and what's our relationship with food.
Amazing. You're so, so amazing. I love it. And just back to supplements for 1 second, I want to say, well, first of all, I want to say too, I know a lot of people think when you get older that it's normal to have problems like lose your vision, have a lot of like health problems. So I love how you're 2020 and you have none of these issues, because I don't believe that it's normal to like deteriorate to that level as you age.
Please, absolutely. And even at age, 4 a.m., you know, when the rooster, when the cock is crowing, my cock is rising. You know, 4 a.m. I still got stamina. No, we got to be honest. We got to be real, because people got to know what they're missing. There's no reason why you should be put out on the pasture at 75. My life is just beginning. I just figured out how to live. It took me 70 years. So I'm actually probably on the second part of my life.
So for anybody watching who doesn't know, like, why do you think living food? I mean, I'm a raw vegan too, and I absolutely love it. But why do you think that living foods are better for us as opposed to cooked foods? And what effect do you think cooked foods have on the body, even if it's just in moderation?
But first of all, what is the original, natural, and best food for human consumption? And the argument does not begin with animal at all. Let's look at facts, historical facts. No science, no religion, maybe, or anything like that. Human beings, it is a fact that we have been on this planet for at least 1 million years. That's been accepted with fossils, human remains dating back at least 1 million years ago. So we must ask ourselves then, when did human beings start using fire? When did we first started cooking our food as we know it today? Wow. Let's go into the machine. You know, there are theories and things of this nature, but I have not seen any information that dates back historically to the use of fire to any date prior to 300,000 years ago. So if the advent of fire was 300,000 years ago, or let's even stretch it, let's say 600,000 years ago, what did human beings eat for 100,000 years, 600,000 years? What did we eat? Did we eat cooked food, or we cook food creatures by nature? So obviously we've been experimenting since we figured out how to use fire. We've been experimenting trying to eat stuff that is not food. Because you can roast a chicken, jerk a duck, that does not make it food at all. All you did, you made it edible. You tenderized it. But that doesn't make it food. So we've been eating a lot of things that are not food for human consumption. Because you can grab a potato and boil it and pump water into it and make it edible. That doesn't qualify it as food for human beings. Let's keep history in mind. When did human beings first started eating potatoes? Look in all the food history book, look everywhere, corn, all of these things. All of these things. When did human beings start eating these things? No more than 10,000 years ago. No more than 10,000. We're not potato eaters by nature. We're not rice eaters by nature. But because of the advent of fire, the use of fire, we can grab rice and boil it and pump water into it. That does not make it food. We see what is happening with some of these foods today. Most diseases that human beings are faced today, bar accidents and things of that nature, they're all foodborne. They're all connected with some kind of something you ate. Arthritis, high pressure, diabetes, cancer. Let's check our gut and see what is the history of our gut. Why are we coming down with these ailments? And why are these ailments getting more intensified? And why is it we have more doctors on the planet than ever before? We have more hospitals, more medical schools, more nurses, more pharmaceuticals, and yet we are sicker than ever. What is going on here? We need to come back home. Back home, re-examine our relationship with food, and not just with the planet, but realistically with the universe. So I have journeyed from plant to plant to planting to plate to planet and planetary. It's been a serious journey, and that's why I don't subscribe to the plant-based concept. That is such a vulgarity, because if it's plant-based, what else is on that base? What else is on that plate? Splice butterfly genes so your tomatoes can be ruby red, or chemicals, Beyond Meat, types of things. What is Beyond Meat? Who the heck wants to go Beyond Meat? We still ain't even figured out meat yet. And we're going beyond. How are you going to get beyond meat? And the original meaning of the word meat is food. Behold, for I've given unto you the seed-yielding foods, and unto you they shall be your meat. So they ripped that word off and reserved it just for animal flesh. I'm a meat eater. I eat nut meats. So food is food. So we have gone so far from reality that here now they're slipping in plant-based, vegan, and beyond meat. And you see where we're going. Japan is getting rid of microwave industry. At the end of this year, there'll be no more microwave plants anymore, making any more. Japan have done research and have figured out that microwaving food has killed more people than the nuclear bombs that the US dropped in Hiroshima. So we got to come on back home. This fast track to the grave, it doesn't pay off. Eating all this cooked food, all this lifeless food, all this dead food, where did you get your education from? How did you figure out that you can get life from death? How do you figure out that you can roast a duck and get that duck to life with you? Okay, so
you're so well spoken. I just want to ask you too, what do you think about soy and tofu? Do you think these cause, I know a lot of vegans consume these. I personally don't. Do you think that they cause health problems?
Well, I call it sorry. And so tofu is tough for you because it doesn't break down. Soybean don't break down in the human body. It doesn't digest. It's actually the sophisticated new pork on the block for those who think they got over the matrix. Talking about they vegans and vegetarian. Look, we put such a hurting on the cattle industry in the 60s, the 70s. We ran them out of business, literally. Being vegetarian, we ran them out of business. The government been subsidizing all your beef for years. It costs more to produce animal flesh than the profit that these people can make on it. So what happened with the beef industry? They co-opted the soybean industry. They took all those cattle lands and now they're growing soybeans on them. And they're growing them and they have corrupted them. Of course, most of them are GMO today, but soybean, organic, all the thing and all of that ain't GMO, it still don't digest. Soybean does not digest in the human body effectively. Soybean have an enzyme inhibitor that blocks us from secreting trypsin, the type of enzyme that's necessary to break it down. Because soybean, so soybean is 90% protein, but we can't digest it to get that protein. That's why in the Orient, where soybean has been used for thousands of years now, it's been around, culture it. They're fermented. They sprout it. So we're talking miso, tempeh, soy sauce, all of these things to pre-digest it, So here we are today eating all this cooked soybean that hasn't been pre-digested. And what's going on? We're not digesting it in our system. We're not breaking it down to those simple amino acids, and it's clogging up our system. It's creating toxins, and it's really literally poisoning them. So if you must eat soybean, then you need to sprout it, you need to culture it, you need to ferment it. I remember back in the days, we used to have curd soybean, which today has become tofu. No longer curd. It's no longer fermented. It's no longer pre-digested. And then they've even gone so much further with the soybean industry because it's the biggest oil, food grade oil that is produced from soybean oil. They mask it on the names like vegetable oil and things of that nature. So what has happened is that the byproduct, the waste product from the soybean oil manufacturing, they turn them into dog food. So a lot of this stuff, when you see, even, for a lot of humans, we're eating a lot of this stuff, the chunks, the meat, the texturized protein and things like that, defatted soybean. It is gook, it's gunk, So that's why you see, really for me, what a lot of people are using, creating these meat analogs with this soybean waste, a texturized vegetable protein, is basically vegetarian dog food. It's just dog food. The same thing that you put for your dog that you got to soak, let it blow up. It's the same ones they got for you, and we eating this stuff. So soybean, I say, sorry, soy, off my plate. You don't deserve to be on anybody's plate. We got better quality food than that. Of course, what has happened, the food industry, the food cartel, basically the bank, has pretty much taken over the food basket. And they're investing in foods items that are reasonable so that they can make the greatest amount of profit. What are the most reasonable foods that are most profitable? All the starch, all of the complex carbohydrates, all of the meats, all of the grains, and all of the deep roots, potatoes, corn, all the stuff that we think we love, and this thing that don't love us back because they give us cancer, arthritis, hemorrhoids, you name it. It's like a war on human beings. It's all about profit, and that's why the revolution continues. I'm on the front line, and the front line is getting stronger because I remember back in the days, I knew a handful of people who were eating all raw when I started 47 years ago. Now, there are quite a few around the world. I won't even try to pull no numbers. They're out here. We have second, third generation vegetarians, raw foodists. Some of these kids now, you go to the college campus these days, it's not even about vegetarianism anymore. It's not even about veganism anymore. It's about fruitarianism. A lot of them, they jump off and they gone. Because the younger generation, they don't have to go through a lot of stuff we went through, trying to experiment, trying to figure out. They figured it out. A lot of them, again, they're born vegetarian. They born, and they're going further than any other group growing up since my group, my generation, because we're one of the last bridges to the old school and the future school, not even the new school. But the old school, I read books from Hilton or Tema, Dr. Rick, Dr. Nash, John, Herbert Shelton, all the old school. And when I go back and I read stuff from the Seventh-day Adventists and the 1850s, when there was this big Christian revolt against the standard American diet, where a lot of this stuff, a lot of them went into vegetarianism. And that Adventist diet, Ellen G. White, counsels on dietetics. Oh man, she's turning her grave to see what the Adventists have done to her legacy. they're the ones that are producing a lot of these texturized vegetable protein. And I won't call their brand, but we know they're coming out of Loma Linda, California. Because their idea of vegetarianism pretty much ends at thou shalt not kill. Anything else go. And that's where the whole plant-based concept is over. Thou shalt not kill. Everything else go. You know, and so here comes the onslaught of chemicals, all of the other stuff to make it taste like, look like meat, feel like meat. But look, I got a recipe I'm going to put on you today. A lot of you are looking at this and you say, like, well, that looks like a cow foot. This is plant, and it's plant-based. It is plant food. And this is how we rock. I got a table right here with all kind of ingredients that we are getting ready. We are getting ready to work with you. So give me a minute here. Give me a minute here. And my cameraman, he said, look, I got to pick up that camera because I got to come and let them see everything that's on the board. When you move my table, okay, this way, tell me, go ahead. Right there, a little bit more. How is that? Right there. Okay, so we got position so you can see a little better what's going on my board here. And he's in control. My cameraman has got it all set up. We do this all the time. And was there any other question? Because I'm ready to go into this recipe because it's important. I can give you a whole bunch of science. I can give you a whole bunch of this and that. But putting food in your mouth, well, of course, I know you're somewhere around the world, but I'll show you how you can create this recipe from your kitchen and substituting every ingredient on my table here. If you have to put your own, this is what I do. Just call me the raw food and you tell me what you want and I'll spin it for you. So I'll show you the detox, any killer food on this planet, no matter what cuisine it comes from, we'll show you how to detox it. And this is the best way to go. So you tell me that you love, beef stroganoff, I'll show you how to knock that off your plate, clean it up, and get it going. And this is what we do at the Sunfire Culinary Institute here in Panama on the beautiful island of Boga. We're in the Pacific. I'm off, I'm off land, and this is how we do it here. And looking forward for you to come here sometime in person. So many of you are not going to be able to come, so that's why I want to share this recipe with you. So any questions before we run off with the recipe?
Amazing. No, I would just love to know, like, how did you become such an incredible raw living foods chef?
Well, I'm not a chef, actually.
Well, I consider you one.
Look, there's only one chef on this planet. Blame it on the sun. The sun cooks for everybody. That's why this cuisine, I named this cuisine sun-fired food, because it's cooked by the sun. We're talking this red onion. It's cooked to perfection by the sun. This parsley, not raw, it is cooked. This kumquat is cooked. This red pepper, these are cooked food. And basically, yes, I put it together in an art form. I put it together into a modern cuisine form. I've been acclaimed by the Oxford Encyclopedia of Food and Drink in America in the 2004 and the 2012 edition of the Oxford Encyclopedia of Food and Drink in America, when they did a tremendous essay on the history of vegetarianism from back in the days with Pythagoras and those guys a few millennials ago, and they come to the modern day and they talk about the raw food movement. And in the raw food movement, they definitely give Dr. Ann Wigmore her full acclaimation, as they say, the raw food movement have contributed one thing significant to humanity, and that's the whole sprout culture. So I love Dr. Ann Wigmore for bringing it to us. You see where sprouting is going today. Now we're into microgreens, and microgreens, you're talking microgreen is like 40 times nutritious than a whole big fully grown green. So anyway, coming into this on the level and bringing it to you here like this basically a work of, I would say, my grandmother, my mother. I grew up in their kitchen, so I learned how to spice just hanging out with them. Learned how to take fresh food from life, from nature, and just put it together. I grew up a fresh life. So it was basically, from then, it was still about self-defense. But coming into this world, I'm recognized as a chef. Never went to nobody's chef school. Completely taught myself. And I'm teaching chefs around the world. I trained 75 chefs in India for the South Indian Culinary Center. These are professional chefs. Mm-hmm. But India is the vegetarian capital of the world. And these guys can roll out some serious vegetarian dishes. They could roll out 75 vegetarian dishes, and for the most part, probably not one of them is raw. Mm-hmm. So that's why they brought me. And these are professional chefs, the sun fire. So the term sun fire is a term that I coined to connote that the food is cooked by the sun. The growing period is the process. So it's meticulous. Bananas, I could eat some bananas and I could show you a big bunch of ripe bananas and let you see how the sun cooked this food. From the time the banana blossoms, from the time it blossoms to the time of fully grown, like this, totally ripe bananas. This is cooked to perfection. Don't tell me this is raw food. Yeah. Don't put the work of the sun like this. When that banana is green, let me show you that green banana. When this banana is green, it is not cooked. This is cooked, okay? So this is it. This is still uncooked. So we leave it. This one was green like this when it was harvested. And in 4 days now, this is it. It finished simmering. We took it out of the sun. This one, look, this one has got, look, there's a ripe one under there. A little ripe one up in there. So it's turning. And that's an enzymatic activity. It's enzymes that are ripening there, that are finishing this process. So these things are cooked to perfection. It took the sun a whole year to cook this. A whole year. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So when the pot is ready, because the birds come home to feast. Okay. So, so the sun, this thing, it comes to every hamlet, every village, every suburb, every uptown, downtown, around town, you name it, and cook everybody's food on the planet every day. Sun-fired foods, and I'm an artist. I'm a food artist and food scientist. So what we just dropped was the science. Now we're going to drop the edible art on you and show you how we put this together, as entertainment. Really, this is entertainment. Just grabbing a banana and eating is the way to go. But we put that banana together with grind coconuts, and you grind some dates with it and make a coconut date crust, and you take that banana and you put it in a food processor, some coconut cream and some dates, some cinnamon, and you lace that with some sliced bananas and put it on that coconut crust, and we have a banana coconut cream paradise. That is art. That is entertainment, okay? Otherwise, we could just eat the coconuts, eat the dates, eat the cinnamon, eat the bananas, and we're fine. So chefing is an art. And again, this is why I've taken it to this level, because I created it myself. I'm an innovator. I developed an entire cuisine that stands on its own merit. We don't imitate, we don't fake, we don't, do no meat analog or anything like that. When we come heavy, and we create recipes that stand on their own. So what do we have today? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. This is a tree. This is a palm tree. This is parts of palm. This is the core of a palm tree. Yes. the whole tree. This is protein. Yeah, it looks like some cow food or something. Look at it. Look at how it breaks down. It's got the same texture of flesh, animal flesh. So I could take this like what I would do today, and I would make a ceviche or escobiche. I take this, chop it up. The way I got it like this, it's basically frozen. When I buy this fresh and it comes to me, put it in the freezer. I thaw it out. Look, it's tender. It's like it's cooked. So that's the effect of freezing and thawing. So it does have its little value. Again, this is entertainment. Yes, it's about health. It's about showing us that we don't have to go a certain route to get what we need to satisfy ourselves. The palm, I'm just going to slice these, just like on the side right here. Look at that. And we're talking, look.
Wow.
Yeah, crab, fish, lobster, you name it. That's beef, turkey, got the texture. There's also bamboo shoots or sprouts that come out of the bamboo, the same thing. There's also banana blossom, that purple bulb at the end of the banana bunch. There's also green jackfruit. There's many foods already in nature that has this texture, and you could take them and do anything you want with this. I could jerk it. I could put a barbecue on it. I could put some kind of what Big Gregory called the lemonade. Big Gregory is not sure. His book, Cooking with Mother Nature, food, natural food for folks who eat. That guy was a big comedian, and he still is. My ancestor, bless his soul. This man got me into raw food in the 70s. Him, Victoria Vinskus, More, Victoria Vinskus. We're talking survival into the 21st century. A book that was published in 1970 about raw food. It is still the Bible today. So a lot of these, new kids on the block that have formed this raw food circus right now, come on, you're rehashing old school stuff. Give credit. Give credit. Give credit.
For sure. 100%. Yeah.
Oh, yes. So anyway, we've got a pound of hearts of palm right here, and we've cut it up, to a certain way. And we're going to get our tray. I'm going to put it right onto this mixing tray, this platter right here. Because I want you to see action. I want you to see how we go with this here.
And do you think it's important to be 100% organic?
As absolute as possible. It is important to be 100% organic. But if you're 9, if you're 90%, if you're 70%, just do the best you can under the circumstances. Don't punish yourself. Don't beat yourself up. But it's more important to eat fresh plant food, high moisture, than anything else. And if the only way to get it is non-organic, still better off than buying some sophisticated organic texturized vegetable protein and all of that just because it's organic. And then when you cook it, it's like wild rice. Yes, wild rice is alkaline. It produces alkalinity. But the minute you cook it, it becomes acid form. So be careful with organic. Because once you cook organic, you disorganize the molecules. It's no longer organic. So you cook it and all this expensive food and you're cooking them, be careful. Now we're going to sit our meat here. But yes, important, organic. But what's more critical for me, I think it's important to just make sure you go 100% live. No cooked food. It's crucial. 80, 10, 10. It works, but tell me who can hold starch to 10%, 20%. Starch is an addiction. Starch is drugs. It's dope. So anyway, we have 2 stalks of celery, and I broke out my food processor. So you notice my celery has big green leaves on them. You better use the leaves. Okay, so we're putting this in our food processor. So we're talking 2 cups of celery in the food processor. We have parsley. We're just getting the tops of the parsley right here. We have a half of parsley in the food processor. We're big on herbs. This is culantro, culantro. This is what we use as a meat seasoning tremendously here in Latin America. So we put this in here to season our meat. We have 1/4 cup of culantro. It's in the dandelion family. So substituting, again, you can just go wild and substitute every ingredient I have on here. You don't find these herbs, use what's available to you. Right here now, I have thyme. You know, we're talking any meat dish, you need thyme in it. You know, thyme is important. Thyme, you know, see, one of the things about culinary herbs, they're underrated medicinal herbs. They're totally underrated. So that's why we use a lot of these things. And I use them fresh. When you see them dry like this, is just down my fridge. But you need fresh. You can't find fresh. Yes, go use dry. Fresh is always best. So I'm pulling the leaves off my thyme here. And the tender part of the stem, I'm going to leave those. That's fine. You don't have to get too anal about that. So here, we've got 1 tablespoon of fresh thyme leaves here. Right in. A little bit of parsley still left. We have oregano, fresh oregano. When you get these things feel like right now, we just into summer, but these things in the spring, greens is what you want in the spring, in the fall. You know, you want to get your greens as much as possible. So vegetables, that group is the neutral group. It's the stabilizer, this balancing group. So you have the vegetables, you have the protein, you have the fruits. Fruits are the ones that are high in sugar, and protein generally are the ones that are high in fat. Okay, so we have 2 tablespoons of fresh oregano, and we're coming hard and strong. We're gonna put onion in here, the red onion, and we're putting together a meat seasoning. You know, just grab your traditional meat seasoning and put it together here. So here we go. We have a half a cup of red onion. We're going to just pulse this, mince it down. We have tomatoes, dried tomatoes. We have 12 halves of sun-dried Roma tomatoes, or, you know, we just chop them up, and we're going to end up here with a half a cup of dried tomatoes. So this is how we make these kind of seasonings like this and take it all the way to the top. Garlic. We're going to use a couple of cloves of garlic. So this is the secret. This is the secret to sun-fired foods. They say the secret is in the seasoning, or the salt, or the gravy, you know, the mixture, the dressing. This is it. You could take anything, and that's what they've done to you. They have anything and season it well and capture your palate. Put sawdust, they call it pulp or whatever, wood pulp or whatever they put in there. They put all kinds of stuff. Some folks even put plastic in your rice. 50% rice, 50% plastic, and you don't know what you're eating, but it tastes so good. It's so seasoned that you don't even realize that you're eating garbage. So 2 cloves of, we're going to press them to activate that mustard oil in the garlic. Very healing, really system. This is how you go. It's a deodorant. It's a deodorizer. Garlic. Just drop that in, and I think we're almost there. We got some peppers.
And I want to ask you, do you think different colored foods have different effect on the body? I know some people say like red affects a different chakra and different colors affect different chakras and things like that. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Oh yes, absolutely. Color vibration, you know, with foods are very crucial. That's why you see, this is what I do. You see the colors, you know, you see the spectrum of the rainbow in a lot of things that I do. You want to really in color, substance come in color. That's why, you know, when I started off, the first thing I did, I got rid of all white, you know, white flour, white sugar, white milk, white salt, all of it, because they, you know, substance come in color. So if you're gonna have a white fruit, we have some mangosteen. We have mangosteen, we have soursop. You know, you look inside of these fruit, the pulp is white, but the outside, you know, we have pitaya or dragon fruit. We have a big soursop. So here, the soursop is over here in the bottom fridge. So my sister, she's running all over the place. But look, mangosteen, look at that purple. Look at that color. But when you open it, look inside of it, white.
Wow.
So you want the real white foods that have been shaded and protected by the sun. So the outside is got pigmentation, but you come in on the inside, here we go. This is soursop. For those of you who haven't seen soursop, this is soursop. Look at this. This is a fruit. But look at that white flesh in there. Look at that white meat. Wow. Look.
You make me want to move to Panama. That soursop looks incredible. Everything you have looks incredible.
Look, this is look. I could take this soursop and I could peel the skin off like this. Let me show you something. I take the soursop, I peel the skin like, I mean, look. People be doing this stuff with fish, talking about they scaling the fish and all of that. We got plant food that we could use to do the same kind of stuff with. Let me get to this side. I'm left-handed here, so I gotta gyrate the soursop. And here we go. I peel this much off of the soursop. Now I'm gonna take the soursop here and I'm gonna fillet it. So I call this fillet of Soursop. So people know they can fillet fish. Look, you ain't had nothing yet. When you come back home, you come back to nature and you get a fillet like this. This is a fillet of Soursop. Yes, so I could take this, I could bread it. I could put some flaxseed. I could take some flaxseed, crush up some flaxseed, put some hot pepper, some thyme, and I could make this crusty. I could put it in a dehydrator. I could put seaweed here. And when I tell you this is filet of sole, some people don't even believe me that this was not fish. So come on, we gotta leave the fish alone. We gotta get animals be. We don't have to do that to our animals. But of course, if you're living in a certain environment where these things don't grow, then you're living on a collision course with Mother Nature. A lot of these stuff are so highly perishable. Soursop is the biggest cancer-fighting element on the planet today. There's a German doctor that patented an element in soursop. And the guy's buying all the soursops on the planet and making a lot of money, healing people with food. Thy food shall be thy medicine, and thy medicine shall be thy food. Food is what got you in trouble, and food is what's going to rescue you. So we got our meat seasoning going on. What else we going to drop in here? We're going to drop some kumquats. So you know ceviche, escobiche is always usually a lot of citrus in there. It's like basically cooking fish with lemon juices like that. So we have 5 kumquats, and you know kumquats. I know a lot of you know this stuff, but some of you never even heard of the damn thing. But yet you eat marmalade. You know what marmalade is made of? Of kumquats with sugar, bunch of sugar. So it's the rind, the filling, the pulp, and the seed. The whole thing goes into your marmalade. Please, you don't have food, you got to come home. We're putting it in here. And besides that, we're putting some lemon juice. And we have a special lemon here with seeds.
Wow, yeah.
This is called a Mandarin Lemon. It looks like mandarin, tastes like mandarin, but it's sour, no sugar. Serious stuff here. So I'm gonna put this lemon juice in here. I'm gonna catch the seeds. I'm gonna put this lemon juice, 1 lemon. So I know you're not gonna find mandarin lemon wherever you are, you know, but you can find your regular lemon and put it in there. So we got juice of 1 lemon dropped off in there. And we're gonna make it spicy. We got these hot peppers. We call them hot bonnet pepper. They call them Scotch bonnet. Cuba, we call them habaneros, you know, but we're gonna put, actually, I'm putting 1 with seeds. We want it hot. This is a serious dish, the whole thing. So we'll leave these. I'm gonna de-seed all of those, putting 1 with seeds. We got garlic in there already. Oh, we have some peppercorns, red peppercorns. Forget black pepper, it's a coarse sandpaper. This is a mild sandpaper. So your white pepper, your red pepper, your green peppercorns, that's where you want. So I'm putting 1 tablespoon of red peppercorns. Wow. The anatomy of seasoning. Pungent, hot, spicy, aromatic, you name it. What we got here, I guess is the best one. Dehydrated raspberries.
Wow.
Dehydrated raspberries, sugar. There's sugar in all things we use. This is what gives it that sweet and sour with the salt. You know, not the salt, the lemon. So we're putting a half a cup, a quarter cup of dehydrated is going to give it just that little touch of sugar. All your dressings, all your seasonings, all your sauces, they all have sugar in there. The flavor that you're hooked on, the killer flavor is salt, sugar, fat. Salt, sugar, and oil, and somewhere other, that's it. So we moved from white salt, white sugar, and bacon fat. You know, the vegetarians, you know, they smell olive oil and this kind of stuff. All food folks, they're like coconut oil. Raw, organic, extra virgin, whole coconut oil. Talking about coconuts. I need a coconut. But I'm gonna drink a young water coconut right about now because I'm sharing this information with you. I'm excited, I'm flying, and I'm becoming dehydrated by the second. So we're gonna get the opener. So this is what I reach for. In any situation, I reach for my coconut water. That's it, my fire hydrant. Cool me down, hydrate my system. So we're rocking with this recipe. You see the anatomy, sugar, spicy, pungent, you know, the herbs and oil. We're gonna use the olive oil. It's the only raw oil, true, that you would find. Everything else, even that coconut oil on the market, extra virgin coconut oil. If your dish is too coconutty, when you use that, the oil is rancid. And most of what they sell in marketing, extra virgin. There's no such thing as extra virgin coconut oil. All coconut are extra virgin because you can only press them once. They took that from the marketing of the olive oil industry. The first press of your batch of olives is extra virgin. You take that same batch, press it the second time, it's olive oil. Press it the third time, it's pure olive oil. Press it the fourth time, olive oil. Time, light olive oil, because now it's getting thin. I wanted her to bring my opener so I could open it and show it to you. I'm not allowed to do it if I want. Show you what we do here. And that's why I'm always ready. I have my little coconut tool, which you can find at sunfire.com. Don't go rush right now to buy it, but we sold out. It's coming on the market soon. So this is what I use. This is my coconut opener here. So I put it right in here. And this one, yeah, this one here, I'm going to show you because we have to talk about the dynamics of coconut. I'm going to hydrate with this one in the meantime. Okay, so look at the coconut. You know, I can't live where coconuts don't grow. If coconuts can't grow in New York City, I can go there either. So I got,
Yeah.
of course, my coconuts will be fresh. I don't want, this is bottled water.
Wait, I gotta ask you. Okay, these are the coconuts we get in North America. I need to ask you because they say these are bleached, they're not healthy. What's the deal? Can we drink these or no?
It's your best option. You're living on a collision course with Mother Nature. It's a rough ride. So that's better than anything else, except watermelon. I'd rather just eat watermelon over there. Watermelon is the next best thing to coconut water. That's why, you know, the queen with their egg call the thing watermelon, because it's water.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
melon flavored water. The watermelon grows from a vine, and that vine has roots that deep into the earth. They're like holes that connect to underground spring and grow. That watermelon vine could run for a whole mile. It could run for a whole mile, that watermelon vine. And let me first open my coconut. Got to get my hydration. Look at this. This is a lip guard. So I remove that from here. And what do I have? A brand clean mouthpiece where I can put my mouth up to there. Coconut is the breast of the earth. The breast of the earth. And you know, the coconut is a phallic, it's a male energy, it's an obelisk. And my coconut trees, you should see them. I got a farm, 12,000 coconuts on trees on the farm. My coconut trees, they bear like 400 or 500 coconuts. A male energy bearing 500 breasts. Ladies, excuse me.
You are so funny. You are such a character. I love it.
Well, I hung out with Big Gregory, my mentor. He was a comedian. So look, I pulled the plug, and now I'm ready to drink my fresh water, living water from the breast of the earth. There's nothing better.
So you don't drink any regular water. You drink coconut water and juice, right? Some juices too.
Don't drink empty water. That water is not regular. It's empty. It's empty water. That water dilutes. Water, anywhere it goes, anything it comes in contact with, it dilutes it. So look, I got my education in my school. I'm not going to drink water to dilute my life. 8 glasses of water a day. I'm not diluting my life with 8 glasses of empty water. The water cartel have got you all taken. Take it to the bank. I saw a friend buy a bottle of water this morning for $2. Purified. It ain't even spring water. Purified. $2. This is a gangster move here. Water cartel. Oh, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You've destroyed all the water sources on the planet. You've hijacked it all, and now you got people hostage. And you're promoting drink water, coconut water, fruit juice, vegetable juice, fresh water, that watermelon, that vine that runs for a mile, and every so many feet it packs a big watermelon. Get a big watermelon and share with you. This is a water, this bottled water. Come on, family. Come on. You know, you've been had. You've been had. This is a bottle of water. This is 99% water. This is bottled water. Environmentally safe. Compostable. Feeds the earth back. You don't even have to drink it. You just eat it, and 99% is water. So we got to come back home. We lost. We had, as they say in my hood, you've been had. So come back home.
Yeah.
That watermelon is probably going to cost you to spend a bottle of water these days. So anyway, back to the recipe. Olive oil. No olive oil in there yet, but 2 tablespoons of olive oil. You know how we love fat. And since this is non-fat, I'll put 3 tablespoons. So we are make up for it. We love fat. But this is a fat that's going to leave the body. going to lubricate. You just want fat to lubricate. You want to lubricate the joints. You want to be like, you want to be 75 years, 75 years old, or 75 years young, and you want to get up and boogie. You know, you climb coconut trees. You want to do coconut yoga. You ain't got no bad stuff in your knees. Your knees are not starch stiff. All of that stuff. Please, come on home, family. You don't have to be sick. You don't need a hip replacement. You don't need an iron rod in your penis. My friend asked me the other day, you came down here, got surgery? I said, no, I ain't had no surgery. I was born with surgery. But anyway, this is fun. I love doing this stuff. So,
and do you think it's ever too late for somebody if somebody's watching and they're having health problems and they're older and they're just like, oh, it's too late for me? Do you think it's ever too late, or they can turn things around if they're in their 60s, 70s, whatever age? What do you think?
Absolutely. It's never too late to rescue the animal that you live in. It's been gone astray. You need to rescue this animal, bring it back home. You're out here trying to domesticate some animal, and one you living in, you can't even carry you to your next. It's stiff. But yes, it's never too late at all. You got to clean out. But most of us panic because we're not used to going to the toilet. You got to defecate. Used to headaches and trauma and drama in our life. All the acid eating us up. Relax. Defecate. Stop packing tight. Clean up. Clean out. I just fasted for 75 days this year on just juice and coconut water. Quarter fruit juice in the morning with a quart of coconut water, a quart of vegetable juice in the afternoon with a quart of coconut water. 75 days. I've been doing this since I was 68. I fast for the number of days for the number of years that I'm completing. And it's a total different experience. I watched myself. I watched my body. In 75 days, I lost about 20 pounds. Oh, yes. I gained it back in 3 months, and I gained another net, you know. But I cleared out all the old programming. I emptied my hard drive, you know about that language, and rebuild it. I rotated the stock in my body. I don't have old stuff, planting old stuff on top of new stuff on top of old stuff. I don't have stratified calcification. I don't have dried out macaroni in my knees from 40 years ago. No. Get hip. You don't need a hip replacement. You don't need a bypass surgery. You don't need to, Botox. First of all, you need to stop retoxing while you detox. Don't detox to retox. A lot of us do this. We clean out to go back and eat the same filth. Every year I'm upgrading. And the most objectionable thing on my plate starts disappearing every year. And I'm getting, we got on this table here is not necessarily foods that I eat now. Like garlic, I don't have a desire for garlic anymore. I say it's an antiseptic, it's deodorant. I don't have nothing to deodorize. So garlic don't appeal to me. I'm sharing with you, I'm doing these things. And that's why when you come to the Sunfire Institute, I meet you on your level. I'm not one of those practitioners that only gonna teach you what I eat. If I only teach you what I eat, we hanging out at the coconut tree for the next drop. You gotta be careful. So anyway, we put in cherry tomatoes in here. I'll put 2 dozens of cherry tomatoes in it. I think I got everything in here that I want to rock other than my seaweed. So I have wakame seaweed, 1/4 cup wakame seaweed, and I have the adult seaweed, 1/2 cup. This is where you're getting seafood. This is seafood. So we cut these up. And these things, they need to be hydrated. They will be hydrated in the vegetables that I've got in my food processor. So this is another thing. You need to create a relationship with modern technology. Yes, the juicer, the blender, the food processor, the dehydrator, get rid of the stove. We in a stoveless kitchen here. We don't rock that way. So I'm gonna post this. I'm gonna chop it down. And a lot of y'all go to chef school and they teach you how to chop stuff with knives and stuff. That's fine. Modern technology. Look, it's the 21st century, y'all. Cooking is an outdated technology. Yeah, it's out of style. We got blenders, food processors. We've got dehydrators. Please, extract. I drink and I eat. And I've been on a month. I'm with Mangosteen. I bought, I think we brought from our farm yesterday about 400 of these. I ate 100 already in one day. Yeah, you know the kind of stuff, the serotonin, this stuff secretes. This is a fruit that's never been bastardized. It's not hybrid, cannot be hybridized. Hey, mangosteen.
And you never eat cooked food, right? And by cooked, I don't mean by the sun. I mean by oven, fire, anything like that. You never do. When was the last time? It's literally, you've been raw all these years, right?
27 years.
Wow.
Don't even know about water. It's a joke. Because I have a cooked food cuisine, but I don't eat it. I have the Caribbean conscious cookery cuisine. I make some vegetarian cooked food that I'll be hiding. I try not to make it because then the folks don't want the raw food, because you know how they are.
Mm-hmm.
But here in Boga, we have a restaurant right here. We're in the restaurant right now, the Sunfire Culinary Institute, teaching kitchen restaurant. And we have a place on the beach where we serve the Caribbean consciously. So you can come and dine with us. You can bring 30 people in your party and some want this, some want that. And we support a local island here, an island of fishing village, that these people have been on this island over a couple of 100 years, and they got wiped out. Their business got wiped out by the industrialized fishing technology stuff. So we support them. We adopted that village, and we have a conscious fish restaurant as well. Because I'm not here running no joke. You know, and I'm not ashamed, you know, to be associated with helping these people. You're talking fair trade. This is better than fair trade, because a lot of us, like with the superfood, we go down to Peru, go with amongst the indigenous people, rip off their superfood, bring it up north to the gringos, and make money off of it, and then U.S. government is sending a care plane behind with powdered milk and all of this corrupted food. And you're taking all these people, good food, bringing it up north. Whistle these people, teach those people about their superfood so they can eat it and not be hooked on your government, cheap, that should be thrown in the trash bin. So we're supporting an island, an indigenous island, and we make sure that they have a market for their fish. And this is how we rock. This is how we make it here. So the Sunfired Foundation, we got it going on here. So let's post this. Let's get the beef seasoning going on. And you see the proportion. You see the proportion of vegetables that we've got in here compared to what we have right here. So all of this stuff is going to be absorbed. Oh yes. All the stuff, all the moisture, the seaweed is going to absorb all that moisture. And so it's a ceviche. If you never heard of a ceviche or escoviche, this is it. This is how we get our people to eat a lot of vegetables. So this is, again, this is our sapam ceviche. And the way we do this here is how we do our typical protein dishes. We put about 70% vegetable in with our rich protein. So these are neutral foods, these vegetable foods. They're stabilizers. So whether this was nut meat or even animal meat, If this was chicken or fish or something like this, and you're very conscious about helping your family, helping people in your community to get over the hump, you set them up and you put 70% vegetables on their plate and you put that little stuff in there for them. It's a whole nother difference. You know, we're talking transition rather than using texturized fake stuff. You know, they got something they call a slutty burger out these days. I don't know who the heck wants a slutty burger. Excuse me. You know, but hey, family, my people on Sunfire TV, this is a Soursop ceviche. Spicy, fiery, lemony, it's got a little sugar in there. The anatomy of seasoning, the anatomy of taking good, clean food and making it into a gourmet platter, a gourmet delight. So, welcome home, family. Welcome to the Sunfire Culinary Institute. It's my absolute honor and pleasure to share this with you, you know, right here in our Sunfire kitchen. It is not the food in your life, but the actual life that's in this food, the life that's in this plant. Yeah, this is what nourishes, not death, not killing animals, killing plant foods. You subject any living entity to a temperature higher than the highest recorded solar temperature on the planet ever, 135 degrees Fahrenheit. You're talking Death Valley, California. You kill all life. So imagine the roasting, the grilling, the jerking, the barbecue. Back it up with some life. Well, it only takes 20% cooked food to help you digest 80%. You know, 20% raw food for you to digest 80% cooked food. That's why in Germany, when they engineer that burger and they put that lettuce, tomato, onion, pickles, that 20% raw food in there to digest that meat and that bread put together. That sauerkraut in the hot dog, that 20% fermented cabbage with all that high enzyme is to digest the dog. So 20% minimum raw food. We're not on a mission. We're not trying to heal the planet. We're not trying to turn you into a raw foodist or anything like that. I am showing you that if I could do it and live like this at this age, you could do it. It's in a matter of life begat life, you know, and I don't know. I feel it for my doctors today. They got a malpractice education, trying to deal with things that are created, diseases, issues, medical issues that are caused by food.
And I wonder too, like, what effect do you think that the foods we have, what effect do you think foods have on our mental health? I think people don't realize the level of what they eat can affect like mood disorders, depression, negative thoughts, things like that.
All of the above and a whole lot more. Fear, anxiety, you name it. You are what you eat. You know, so what you eat today walks and talks tomorrow. So family, it's been a pleasure. It's been an honor to share this with you, you know, to share this moment, you know, of Crimson Sunfire Cuisine Kitchens, Sunfire Cuisine Arts and Science. So I give thanks to all of my students around the world, keeping it vibrant, you know, and hey, your turn is coming soon. Check me out, you know, check yourself out and come back to self. You got to readjust your relationship with your heavenly body out here on planet Earth, and you deserve the best of your earth. So don't get carried away with the big bag of chips for small money. You really want to live in a good, well-nourished body that's not valuing it, something that will never get sick. So thanks again, and great love to you.
You are incredible, Dr. Aris. That was just an honor. Thank you so much for sharing the recipe with us. And thank you for everything you've shared. I mean, there's still so much more I would love to talk to you about. So I would love in the future if you would come back on one day, maybe to answer my viewers' questions. That would be amazing.
Yes, I will, for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Aris. And to the viewers, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got some value from this. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.